Hi guys and welcome back. In this lecture we will focus on the main switchboard or the MSB. We will describe the main components and the single line diagram. First, let me show you the process of electricity. We start with power plant that generates electricity whether by fossil fuels or renewable resources. Next, it moves to step-up voltage transformer. After that, transmission lines carry electricity for long distances. Then it goes to step-down transformers in order to be usable in our homes. The line to neutral voltage will be 220 volt or 110 volt depends on the system. Therefore, the line to line voltage will be either 380 volt or 190 volt. By the way, line to line voltage means three phase. Line to neutral voltage means single phase. The MSB receives the electricity from the nearest substation. Then the breakers inside the MSB transfers electricity to DBs. Finally, DBs supply electric and electronic equipment by electricity, such as lights, power sockets, AC, boiler, and so on. In one building, we must see at least one MSB and several DBs, so that each hospital, school, and complex may have one or several MSBs. Yeah, as we said, MSB receives 380 volt from the nearest substation. MSB or the main switchboard usually looks like this. It's a big panel. However, the size of the MSB panel depends on the quantity of the equipment and their loads. So we can say the more quantities, the big size of MSB is required. In general, the size of MSB panel for a small restaurant is about 100 by 185 centimeter. The main components of the MSB are number one, the incomer MCCB, which stands for molded case circuit breaker. It can handle a high value of current like 500 ampere. Also, the incomer MCCB has the highest value. Number two, the other MCCBs or outgoing MCCBs, which have values lower than the incomer MCCB. So memorize that. The circuit breakers inside the MSB are called MCCB. Okay, the third component is the bus bar. What's the bus bar? Okay, it's like a conductive plate used to allow the current to pass through it from the incomer MCCB to the outgoing MCCBs. Busbar has different ranges of values as MCCBs, and the value of the busbar relies on the value of the incomer MCCB. For example, if the incomer MCCB is 500 ampere, then the busbar must be more than 500 ampere. It might be 1000 ampere. Okay, yeah, somehow the MSB looks like this figure. Here is the main MCCB or the incomer MCCB. The incomer MCCB feeds the busbar and the busbar feeds the outgoing MCCBs. On the other hand, you can see that there are two MCCBs as spares. And that's right, because you have to keep spares MCCB for future use. Yeah, what else? Okay, assume the main MCCB is 100 ampere, is 100 ampere, so the bus bar must be more than 100 ampere. It could be 200 ampere. This is an MSB. I know it's not clear. Anyway, here's the incomer MCCB, the bus bar, and the outgoing MCCBs. Yeah, I forget to inform you about one thing. Let's go back a little bit. Okay, pay attention to this note. Each outgoing MCCB is called way. So if we have 6 outgoing MCCBs, it means we have an MSB with 6 way. So yeah, if we look again at this MSB, you can see that you can see that there are 6 outgoing MCCBs. So we have 6 way. The same concept here, but we have here 8 way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Single line diagram or schematic. Listen, the single line diagram is like the ID card of the MSB, so it defines the MSB. Let's read together. 5 elements must be considered in the single line diagram, which are: number 1, total loads in watt or kilowatt. Number 2, the value of the incomer MCCB. Number 3, the value of the outgoing MCCBs. Number 4, the load and address for each outgoing MCCB. Number 5, addresses for DBs. Number 6, the size of the required cables for the incomer MCCB and the outgoing MCCBs. The size or the value of the bus bar. Okay, by the way, this is an MCCB. Okay, let's move. Well, this is a single line diagram for a real project. This is the incomer MCCB or the main MCCB, and its value is 100 ampere. The red thick line is the bus bar. Look carefully to its value. It's more than the incomer MCCB. There are 6 MCCBs, which means this MSB consists of 6-way. Meanwhile, there are 3 spares for future use. On the other hand, this MCCB feeds DBP and this DBLA. But this MCCB feeds a machine directly. Finally, numbers 6, 4, and 3 refer to the size of the recommended cable. I will discuss it in section 5. Don't worry. Okay, that's enough. We will continue in the next lecture. Good.